great power has awoken. Crash? I fear it portends an event of reality-shattering proportions. I feel it emanating from Insanity Peak. Quickly, we must go! Crash! Crash! Crash!
Hello and welcome to Set for Smash Move Set Concept, where we look at video game characters and how they would work in the world of Super Smash Bros. And today is a character a lot of people really want to join the battle, myself included. It's none other than the orange marsupial himself, Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot debuted in 1996, exclusively on the PlayStation 1, called, you guessed it, Crash Bandicoot, originally made by the company Naughty Dog. Crash Bandicoot was created to lead the army of Dr. Neo Cortex in order to take over the world. The only problem was, Crash was kinda stupid. He's defeated Cortex time and time again, when he's struck back, and even warped. Over the many years, Crash has actually had many different titles, some good and some we'll never talk about. But I will be basing his moveset more on the mainline games of the series. Does Crash Bandicoot has what it takes to spin into action for Super Smash Bros? Let's find out. So let's begin with the details, starting with this piece of information I want to say first. There are already a few other YouTubers who've already done moveset concepts for Crash Bandicoot. There will be some comparisons, mostly because we see how Crash Bandicoot would work in Smash Bros. Hence why the moveset concepts I do are usually characters most people haven't done yet, or are hardly seen. Though there are some characters I won't be doing moveset concepts for, mostly because there are better channels that do a better moveset concept for the character already. So characters like Rayman and Waluigi I will never be doing moveset concepts for, unless I can find a unique spin on the character. Bad Crash Bandicoot pun aside, Crash would be the standard platform size height compared to Mario and Sonic. Though surprisingly enough, he would actually be a mid-light character with some slightly above average speed. Though his attack is actually below average, he's actually a pretty weak platform fighter. However, what makes Crash Bandicoot special is that he actually has the highest knockback out of all characters. Meaning Crash isn't really a combo heavy character, but he has a lot of great keep off me tools. He has 2 high jumps, and he's capable of crawling as well. Crash Bandicoot also has a unique ability, which of course is Aku Aku. When starting a battle, Crash always has Aku Aku with him, and when doing some attacks, Aku Aku will also join him. Aku Aku adds as an extra hitbox as well as some extra defense for Crash's attacks. However, Aku Aku doesn't make Crash invincible. If Aku Aku is hit with multiple attacks or with a very powerful one, he will disappear, leaving Crash in a more defenseless state when it comes to combat. When entering a stage, Crash of course enters through a teleporter. The series symbol was always a bit of an argument for a lot of people, but I think it would be the face of Crash Bandicoot himself. More specifically, the Insane Trilogy remake design, as I think that best represents the series of Crash. It's Crash Bandicoot. For the victory theme, I think the Crash Team Racing one is I think the best one, though it would be edited shorter to match with the victory themes of Smash Bros. For Crash's taunts, his first will have him spinning a Wumpa Fruit. For taunt number 2, he'll spin and do a peace sign. And for his third taunt, he'll actually do the Crash Bandicoot dance, which you can cancel out of real instantly. For the color palettes, of course his first would be his default design. Palette number 2 would be more inspired by the blue hyena color. Palette 3 is the yellow Shiba. Palette 4 is the skunk variant. Palette 5 is a brighter red, referencing Evil Crash from Crash Twinsanity. Palette 6 is more colors inspired by Crunch. Palette 7 is an alternate costume, which is the Biker Crash. And Palette 8 is Fake Crash, a reoccurring joke character. For his victory animations, his first will have him shaking his head until a crystal, or gem, or relic will appear, showing to everyone for victory. Victory animation number 2 will have Crash spinning and then he'll do his ba-da-ba pose from Crash Bandicoot 1. And for his third victory animation, it's actually a 2-parter, with the first being of course the Crash Bandicoot dance in all of its glory, while the second variant is actually the Fake Crash dance, but this one can only be active if you have the Fake Crash costume on, as it best represents Fake Crash. Moving on to the standard attacks. For his jab, it'll be a punch punch and then a spinning punch. For his dash attack, he'll do a slide. I was originally thinking of this as a down tilt, but you'll see what I change it to later. For his side tilt, he'll do a spin kick. For his up tilt, he'll do a spinning uppercut. And for his down tilt, he'll do a spinning slide. A move that was made in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. For his side smash, he winds up his arm, and when unleashed, he'll swing a powerful punch in front of him, similar to Sonic's side smash. For his up smash, he'll actually crouch down when charging, and when unleashed, he'll actually do a jump split kick, referencing his high jump maneuver from Crash Bandicoot 2. For his down smash, he'll crouch down again when charging, and when unleashed, he'll do a short hop and then do a belly flop, similar to King K. Rool's down smash. For his standard aerial, he'll do an aerial spin. If you have Aku Aku, he'll actually spin around Crash. For his forward aerial, he'll do an airborne drop kick with Aku Aku in the front, and for his back aerial, he'll do a backwards drop kick with Aku Aku in the back. For his up aerial, Crash will actually kick one foot into the air, an animation similar to Hero's up aerial. The only difference is, this one will be better. And obviously for his down aerial, it's his iconic belly flop attack. For his grabs, he'll actually grab characters two-handed and then hit him in the head with a headbutt. His forward and back throw animations will be similar to Mario. For Crash's up throw, he'll do an animation similar to Dark Pits, only with higher knockback. And for his down throw, it'll be an animation similar to Link's, mostly because I thought it would look funny. Next up is the special attacks, and you can probably guess what the standard special is. If you don't, it's of course the iconic Power Spin, a move that is iconic to Crash Bandicoot himself, and one of his highest hitting knockback attacks. Just by tapping the B button, Crash will of course spin. Any characters who get caught in the cyclone will be sent flying. If you press the attack multiple times while moving, you'll actually do the multi-spin, though you can't keep it on indefinitely. It is a pretty good get-off-me tool. However, this standard special is not capable of deflecting projectiles. The Kirby hat will obviously give him Crash's ears, hair, eyebrows, and nose. For Crash's side special, it's the Polar Dash. Polar appears under Crash, and Crash rides Polar in a dashing animation, based off the iconic animal riding segments from the Crash series. If Polar happens to run into a character or item, Crash will actually also get sent flying himself, giving him a little more extra distance, also turning himself into a hitbox. For Crash's up special, it's actually a unique combination, which I call the Super Jetpack Jump. This actually comes from two different Crash games, the Jetpack, which appeared in Crash Bandicoot Warped, and the Super Jump, which originated in Crash Bandicoot Entranced on the Game Boy Advance. By pressing and holding up B, Crash will actually enter a state of pose while the jetpack is right under him. When letting go, Crash will let out a super powerful jump, with the help of the jetpack of course. The more powerful the charge, the higher Crash will fly, and is probably one of his greatest recovery tools. And Crash won't go into freefall. Unfortunately, his special attacks, excluding his standard special, will be unusable. And for his down special, I feel like is probably the biggest thing about Crash, and that is something that he's used to breaking. His down special is the crates. By pressing the down special, a crate will fall from the sky and land on Crash's head. If the crate successfully hits in the head, he will take damage. You can activate your down special, and then immediately guard or dodge, and depending on the crate type, different things will occur. If it's a standard crate, it'll immediately be destroyed, and a piece of Wumpa Fruit will appear. If this hits Crash in the head, Crash will take 0.3% damage. If a question mark crate appears, it'll actually stay in the arena, and characters can pick it up and throw it. When broken open, a random item will appear. If items are turned off, it'll just be a Wumpa Fruit. If a bouncy crate appears, Crash will actually take no damage when it lands. Instead, it'll actually bounce. The crate will bounce around the arena up to 5 times and then break. Another crate that appears that's also important is the Aku Aku mask. Unlike in the games where you can actually collect up to 3 and then go invincible, you can only collect 1 Aku Aku mask per match. And the only way to get a new Aku Aku mask is through the down B. But if an enemy destroys the crate, Crash will not get the ability. If a TNT crate appears, it'll bonk him in the head, and then stay in the air for a limited amount of time, until it counts down and explodes. If the TNT crate lands on the ground, it'll stay there for a certain amount of time, where the counter will appear and then explode, or if an enemy happens to get near it or even pick it up. I should also note that the crates that you pick up will be as heavy as regular crates in Smash Bros. If the Nitro crate were to appear, you have to dodge immediately, because if it will hit Crash, he will sustain a lot of damage. If on the ground, it'll just stay there until someone makes contact with the Nitro crate and then explodes, being another one of the most deadliest items in Smash Bros. Also, it's impossible to pick up the Nitro crate, but it's not the most powerful crate Crash has, as his most powerful is the Steel crate, as if you spawn this one, dodge immediately. If you have an enemy right under the Steel crate when it lands, it will do massive amounts of damage. If you're already at a high damage pool though, it'll instantly KO you, referencing of course how impossible it is to destroy these crates. Also, they're impossible to pick up. For Crash's final smash, I like to call the Insane Explosion. Crash will put on the Aku Aku mask and dash in front of the foe. If a foe happens to be caught, they'll be sent to a cinematic where they crash land in front of a massive amount of TNT and nitros. And then you see Crash hit a green exclamation crate and then bounce out of there, causing a massive explosion. Characters with over 100% damage will instantly lose a stock. And considering this is an explosive final smash, anyone who has to be near the cinematic will be sent flying thanks to the explosion. And with that, we have set for Smash, Crash Bandicoot. Thank you for watching. If you like this moveset concept, be sure to check out some of my other ones I made. And if you like all my other work that's on my channel, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And tune in to the next moveset concept, the final character of Fighter Pass 3, codenamed Greenlight.